Hey everybody. All right, welcome to Xavia Fox Talks, and of course I'm your host Xavia Fox. I'm going to turn it over to the lovely women of the Sister Circle.
It's not negative to have an opinion, you know, about things. I don't think you need to baby a man. I mean, I think I hope I baby my husband, you know, enough, but I don't think we need to constantly. We're not. Why is it always that the black women, we're not giving them something?
Right.
Why is it that they're not doing something?
Exactly.
It's always we're not giving them. We're supposed to.
Always.
I just think it's
because they're
so
the
much
leader.
get put on them, on the black woman, is to get blamed for why the black men aren't doing this, you know. And I think that independent is just another cop out for me.
Because we're single. What do you expect?
They have to be independent.
Is going to be independent.
Right.
So how could you look at that as something negative?
Right.
How could you look at that as something bad when, as a single woman, I have a child to raise? You know, I have to go to work. I have to feed this kid. I have to clothe this kid and take care of myself at the same time. What do you expect me to be? So when you meet me, you're meeting an independent woman. And so if you want me to submit to you, then you need to present yourself as a leader.
But you don't submit to, it says submit to your husband.
Yes, exactly. But before before he becomes a husband, he still needs to present himself as a leader.
No, I'm saying if a man's walking up to you and saying you need to submit, you're not my husband.
Well, no, right. I understand that. But my point is, when you meet me, you're going to meet an independent woman. Right. And so if man thinks that a woman is supposed to submit to him, then you need to present yourself as the leader. So if we're going to go towards that marriage, you know, you have to show me something prior to the day of marriage.
I agree.
But if you're dating a quality man, he's going to automatically do that.
This is true. It's not wrong with men being providers, but at the same time, men have to be open to, as you stated earlier, we have dreams. We want to do things. It's like you cannot put us on pause, and I think oftentimes this is what they're trying to do. It's like, why not encourage her to do it? You want me to go sit down because you feel comfortable with me sitting down and not all, because I've had men tell me you're doing too much. You're gonna have to sit down to no, because you knew what I was. I'm a sociable butterfly. You have to be secure within yourself, because they be amazed where I don't wait on a man to take care of me. I take care of my 3 boys. I sent my oldest one to college, and it's like, you're not going to come up in here and tell me to sit down somewhere, because I'm not going to sit down.
This is how I run my life.
What I've been doing for the last 5 years. Now you come in and say, listen, I'm trying to provide. It goes back to communication. I know how to sit down and be quiet. I'm learning it.
Let me help you.
I'm learning. I'm truly learning it, because God has showed me some of my area, and we all have issues. It's not just the women, it's the men too. We all have issues. Now, if you want to come in here and rock it, I'll shut up. I choose my battles now. Now I do. But you haven't shown me that. It's like, until you show me that, I'm gonna keep it in motion.
So you want me to submit myself?
But again, it's a lot of submissive women out here. When you think about it, look at the women who aren't independent. It's more non-independent women than it is women who claim to be independent out here. So if the men really wanted to be married and have a submissive woman, they can get one. They really would.
But a lot of times,
would be so many
put them back on the burner.
There's not a lot of black men. It's imbalanced. If there's black women single, the black men are married. They just marry somebody else.
Yeah,
they marry other cultures that submit.
And they got a dip as a submissive woman.
And you know what they're doing? She's being submissive of other cultures, but then they trying to come and smile, thinking I'm gonna be the one on the side while she at home submit. They still have that interest of that other person.
Because you're independent, he don't have to take care of you.
See, that's
you
what it is.
You just giving up the booty.
No, he ain't getting up because I'm on loud.
That's what I'm saying.
You heard me.
That's why he's coming back. That's why he's coming to the other woman. He coming to the independent woman for the booty, because you ain't got no man. Because you so independent.
But they give too. They givers.
They're scum of the earth.
They get givers. I just don't accept it from them, because they are givers. But you're married, go sit down somewhere and go work on your marriage.
Leader.
Because I don't need that on me. Lord knows I know I did good, God. Yes, they're givers. And they trying to add on to what I'm doing, because I've seen that. I thank God, because I've seen the marriage side and now the single side. And it's men and women both who have issues. And I've had friends who were very submissive to their husband. Now half of them done committed suicide because you never did the things you wanted to do because this man controlled you. And when I see that, it lies on the man and the woman. Speak up and communicate and do what you need to do for your household.
You know what?
Because you can't run.
I think that this is what I think. People really, women and some men really get what submission is mixed up.
Right.
I'm glad
Now,
you bring that up.
submission does not mean that this man comes in and tells you what to do.
Right.
When
That's
you submit to this man, it means that you are on his
side.
team.
That's
You
right.
on his
You're on
team.
his team,
You guys are furthering your dream together.
Mm-hmm.
I said when I was married, I was a housewife. My husband, before he became my husband, he said, "I want you to quit your job," because he wanted to go to California for a while, and I was like, you know, because I was single, you know, and I was used to doing my own thing or whatever. He said, "I got you. You don't have to worry about it. Quit your job and come with me." It took me a few weeks. I finally decided to go because he was good to me anyway, so I did it. I submitted to, I was on the team. What he told me was, okay, once our kid, because my youngest daughter is his daughter, once our kid gets in school, pursue your dreams. Do what you want to do.
Right.
But he was still my priority. You know, when he got home from work, he had dinner and whatever else, you know, was going on. I made sure the household ran smoothly. You know, when he came home and he had his problem,
husband.
you know, I took care of what needs to. He was my priority, but I still was into the real estate. You know, I still did my own thing.
He was
That's a
supportive.
good
But I was not independent.
Right.
I was interdependent.
Right.
I was part of the team.
Yeah.
You know, you can't walk in your job, you know, and say they want you on the team.
That's
And you
true.
can't walk in your job and say, "I'm independent."
Right. Now that is a great example of submission, but
But see,
all
I think
men,
the word independent is being used wrong.
And that's what we're saying. How men try to see it as something negative. The word independent.
That's the way
Like
it's
it's
been.
a cop-out.
That is the way that it has been presented to them, though. Because how many women? Nope. Now you know I do these discussions. How many? I've had women on the page. I don't need no man. Well, a man is motivated by being needed.
That's right.
They are problem solvers. They have to be needed. If they're not needed, if you say I don't need no man, or you give, you know what? You don't have to say it though. If you give the impression, if you give the impression, if it's implied that you don't really have a spot, if the man don't have a spot to feel needed,
He needs to be there. I understand that he's a provider, but I don't see why any female, independent or not, would say I don't need a man.
Right.
You don't.
but you don't have to say it. You can show it.
Yeah,
what
that's
about-
true. You can show it, but that's not.
what about the guys who claim they don't need a woman? What about them? What
I
do you
never
ladies
heard that.
think about?
Oh,
they
guys say I don't need a
But
man.
I don't need no woman.
I've had men say that they don't need a
No, I
woman.
heard
But
men
the
who are not that.
men
Marriage.
who say
They don't need a woman for marriage because the
Right.
brothers at the round table sat here and said we need women.
Right.
But
I was gonna say, but the
a lot
men
of them
who say
don't
they
see the
need
benefit in marriage
women
anymore.
are typically men who have that rotation. So what they're really saying is, I don't need one woman because I have many to satisfy all my needs.
And that's where that sisterhood needed to come in, and we talked about the last time because we are our own worst enemies.
That's right.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are.
But I want to go back to, it was your question, how important is a man's money? I think it depends on where you are with that man. Most of the discussion we've just talked about has been if you're married. But if you're dating, the man's money, I think, is very important in terms of setting the tone for how your relationship is going to be, because traditionally men use money as the resource to be able to date the woman, and it depends on what type of woman you have. Some women will date men with smaller amounts of money who will settle for doing smaller things. Some women require men to have large amounts of money, the ballers, to do large things. But I think it just has to be a happy medium where you both are getting the fair exchange of what you need from the relationship. So if the man can take you out all the time, great. If he can, he says, I can't take you to what is that place downtown everybody goes to? It's by Navy Pier. But anyway, some fancy place. If he can't say, I can't take you there, but maybe this week we can go to Red Lobster. Okay, next week is Cardinal. I can't take you, but can we cook and I'll go buy groceries or whatever.
Right.
I think that it's very important in terms of setting the tone, but what men have told me is it's important for the woman to say, okay, I got you too.
Right.
Not that we have to do it all the time, but
you know, if I take you out 3 times, take me out once.
Right.
Or if
Exactly.
you go get
That's
you some shoes,
understandable.
buy me some socks.
Exactly.
They just want to be appreciated.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I think that it's very important for both ways. Now, as you grow and progress, it's both money together that makes that relationship work and keep it alive. But just to start off from the beginning, I guess I kind of agree it is important for a man to have some money, some,
don't really have to
you know.
be broke.
So how do you guys
Yeah.
feel as far as still having your own? You get married, most of the time you join your money together, but I still want to have a little account on the side.
But
of
you-
my
That's
life.
what my
should.
mom always said. That you
Like, you need to have a little blanket. Like,
if you
I
want
feel
shoes
bad.
or if you want
you know what? Seriously.
Let me respond to
Like,
that.
have
something.
So, I'm just
have
gonna
to
let
let
y'all
I'm a prime example of that.
Well, I'll say
Let me
this.
say this. I'm a prime example, but at some point, you're gonna have to do away with that sneaky account that you have.
He probably
because
has one.
It's even
Yes,
though
he
because
doesn't do it.
if
Or
you're
extra
saying
credit
that this
card
the
or
person
something.
you're gonna be with, you know, because you're taking that vow, it has to be my husband that I will get rid of that extra account.
for. Yeah, relax
Because I
a little
had that
bit.
extra account and he found it.
And he could have taken it. There was nothing you could do.
He found that extra reserve that I was saving all those years, and it was really not. And I felt bad afterwards because how could I dare expect him to put all in? And here I
You didn't.
had this account, so I turned
Well,
it
he can
over. I
have it. But what's
did.
wrong with asking? What if you ask?
Because what
Yeah.
the extra account says in the back of your
I don't
head.
trust you.
No, right. I don't trust you.
Won't work.
And that divorce is an
Yeah,
option. And
You may
really-
bail on me, and I need to make sure I got something to pick myself back up.
But that's because we're
That's
taught
true.
that. But you know, if you do any of the
But most women don't save in their extra account to that.
Most
that
women don't
amount.
save, period.
You know what I'm saying?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
And I don't want it to come out of.
But what if you ask him? So
You
here's
know.
my thing. You're married. You guys have your joint account, you know, and you have your bill account. So what if I say, honey, do you mind if I have a separate account for me?
Right.
What's wrong with that?
No, that's what we did.
Okay, so that's what we did. Because this would be the account that I could blow and buy clothes, and I can do all the stuff that you really don't want me to do.
Right.
I can do that.
But that keeps the stress out of your marriage and makes sure your bills are paid.
Well, I'm gonna ask.
Now
I'm gonna need that.
Yeah,
Right.
But it's
so I had to
with your
learn that.
money.
That's just how I was. I had to learn. I still have to learn.
Yeah,
Because I was taught, you know.
So if you want that new coat,
And
Right. I don't have a problem with
and I was
asking.
making excuses like you will. You know, you
I would
need
not
that
have a
extra
problem with
money.
asking my husband, baby. Do you mind if I open up another account? Because I like to shop here and there.
Right.
You know, you might not be available, and I just might want to go to the store, and I need access to some money. So I don't have a problem with asking. I wouldn't hide.
Thank you.
I said I've learned, ladies.
Yeah.
That was how, because I was young. You know, when you young, you like, you gotta get my money until I've learned.
We
I've
were
learned.
all taught that. I mean, I was taught that too. My parents are still married. My parents have been married for years, whatever. But my mom used to always say, just put something aside. Because that would, we were just taught that.
and then most of the time
But you
they end up
never
going back
know.
into
The household. Anyway, that's what happened to
You end
me.
up going on the
I have
kids.
a
You're at the
stash
mall
and
and
then
it's
it's
you
gone.
know, so
I want to piggyback off of what Xavia said when she mentioned her ex, and she was talking about being submissive and basically being on his team. And then she left her job and moved to California, with him. And after the baby was born and older and in school or whatever, so now it's time for her to seek her dreams and go after whatever ambitions she has. Now, what about the guy who you leave your job for, you move to another state, you become on his team, and you never get to follow your dream because he's not interested in your dream. He's only interested in you being on his team. What about that guy?
What about that guy?
Yeah, what about that guy? because Xavia just gave a great point of a good man being a leader, and she's on his team, but he also understands that there's things that she wanted to do, and when the time was right, he made it clear to her that yes, baby, you're on my team, but I still want you to go out and follow your dream too. But you'll have that guy who you're on his team, and he's not really seeing your dream. He's only seeing what he wants to do, his team. So you've walked away from your job. You've left the state. And now 5 years is gone past, 7 years is gone past. He knew about your dreams and aspirations in the beginning, you know, and everything was all good. Now your dreams means nothing to him. Now what?
I gotta think that one, you have some hints along the way that that's what you're dealing with.
You don't always have hints. Sometimes people don't know they're sleeping with the devil until it's too late.
So you don't always have
Sometimes,
hints.
sometimes you do not. Sometimes you do not always have hints.
But then, okay, then let's put it back on the woman. Let's put it back on the woman then. Let's
no,
say
we're with the man. I asked about the man, not the woman.
Okay, no, because I got to put it back on the woman to answer your question. Because if the man didn't give you any hints and you had a burning desire to accomplish a dream, you should have started working on that along the way anyway. So when it does come to fruition, it's not going to be shock to his system because you've stated it in the beginning. He agreed in the beginning, and then after a certain point or a certain time has passed, you start working on it. He can't get mad at you for that. But if you with that guy,
he can't get mad at you for that.
He can't. Not if you made it clear. You've communicated. You communicated from the beginning. Like, what's the movie Waiting to Exhale, Bernie? You talking about Bernie's husband.
No, I'm not.
Why?
I'm speaking of just man. I'm not speaking of any particular.
No. I'm saying the character. The character. Because that's exactly what he did. But that's exactly what he did.
I don't even remember the movie.
She put her dreams aside, and they moved together. He became an attorney, and then he left her for the white woman. But in the process of her burning his stuff and throwing it all out, she was screaming, "I put my whole career aside to help you out."
Well, I'm not him. Okay.
No,
yeah,
I'm
not necessarily saying him leaving her for anyone. I'm just, specifically saying that the communication was there in the beginning. It was there. It was there. And the 5 years go by or what have you, and now it's time for her.
Because if he change and say no, what if he say no?
So am I supposed to be submissive and stay on your team?
Is she supposed to constantly
be
submissive?
But she's not supposed to not do it. That's what I'm saying. If she communicated that in the beginning,
but that's why when she said,
see where I'm going.
That's what she's saying. Because then oftentimes men will say, well, she's not being submissive. She goes to school, and he's saying, honey, not now at that 5-year mark. You know what I mean? So I understand what she's.
So what about that man? Do you stay with that man? Do you stay on his team? Is this a team that you want to still be on, or do you just continue? You keep turning the other cheek because your time is not now.
See, I can't see that happening because if I told you at the beginning I want to go to school, then sometimes you're gonna see some brochures coming in the mail. If you see you bring me the mail and you see my school application in there and you start hemming and hawing, that's my red flag already.
But you're already married to him. It's 5-8 years into the relationship.
But that's what I'm saying. You're gonna know that. I can't see
now.
getting into that position because you're gonna have hints along the way. If you're being the core of who you are as a person, you're gonna be that person, and all of that is gonna be about in your essence all the time. That man's gonna know you're gonna do that. If he's gonna fall off, he's gonna fall off. But I can't see how you get that far down and he didn't hit to you that he wasn't on board and you didn't jump ship.
I'm speaking of the person, just like as Xavia mentioned. This guy says, when the baby's going to school at 5, you go ahead and follow your dream. That baby starts school, your dream is no longer in existence. Submission comes to an end right there. Sorry. Because you're not on my team. You're not on my team.
I would have to.
I mean, really. So what if 3 years down the road and your husband was like, baby, when the baby's in school, I want you to follow your dream. And then when it's time, he decided, no, now's not the time. You just can't do this. What would that do to you? Would you still be submissive? Would you still be on his team if he can't even respect your dreams when he said in the beginning that this is what we were going to do?
My initial response would be to ask him why.
Okay.
Submitting does not mean that you don't get to ask questions.
Absolutely.
You all know that men think being submissive. Some men be quiet. Some men, I won't say all men.
Some do. They don't know what it means.
What would that have done to you?
Going back to my point,
if after 3 years he
just
decide,
position.
nope.
This is not your time.
You're not doing it.
I think that's a complicated situation. It
But you
really
see,
is.
see.
But that's something you would have to work through, dig deeper. Why aren't my dreams, important to you?
Because you was sleeping with the enemy and the stranger.
Okay,
you committed and submitted to him.
But again, red flags are going to be evident.
Right. But to say no, you can't go to school, whatever you choose, and you're like, okay, I'm no longer submissive, and we're done. But I think that's so black and white.
Right, and I'm not saying you instantly jump to that conclusion. I'm being dramatic when I say that. The whole point of it is, what about that man that I'm speaking of? That man who you submit to, and you're on his team. You guys have set a plan, and he's leading. And now the plan has come forward to fall on you to start your dream. He backs out. He's not giving in. They're out here, honey. They're out here. They're out here.
And I would say that's a deeper issue because that man doesn't love you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And
that's what I'm saying. It's such a deeper issue there than the surface of what you're saying.
It can be a deeper issue. I'm just asking you, what about that man?
Well, okay, biblically, you're still required. Yeah, I'm still required to
what we would do with this man.
Right. Then after all failed divorce. There we go.
I'm just curious. That's right. I'm just curious. What are you going to do? I'm not asking for all the philosophical comments. I'm asking, what are you going to do with this man? This is the man you submitted to. The Bible says submit to your husband. Be on his team. You was on his team. He's not even recognizing your team. What are you gonna do with that?
Again, that's not that man. That's not that.
That's fine.
I think that we are so quick to
find out what's the deeper issue. Yeah.
But there's a deeper issue. Yeah. And if the deeper issue is that he does not love you, then yeah, you do need to get to.
And maybe the deeper issue is, baby, if you go off to school and you start making all this money, are you gonna leave me? Maybe the deeper issue is.
But if a man tells you that, they work through that with you. They work through that. A married man is gonna work through that with you.
But you know what? They are out here.
Even if you're married, it has to be, divorce happens when two people stop trying. So it has to be willing participants to work through the rough patch. Because there's no perfect man nor woman. And just as well as there's quality men, there are quality women. And opposite, there are non-quality men and non-quality women. It goes back to choice. Who do you choose that you're going to walk with and be on whomever team? So every household is different. Because what may work in your house may not work in mine. Because I've saw relationships where they're mimicking the next person's relationship. You can't do that because you're dealing with different individuals. So what works for you in X example, that worked for her household. In that case, for an example, that could be my household where he won't fall through. So it's up to me. To me, I believe that we have our own decision about what we're going to allow and what we're not going to allow in our life, and we have to hold people accountable. If we don't, and it's on us.
And to give you a perfect example of why I kept saying I don't see that, I don't understand that position that you described, because X said, my husband said, quit your job and I got you, and then he started having her back. He was displaying everything that he said he was going to do all along the way. So there is no way to me that I can tell you, okay, I have a dream, I have a goal, I'm going to put it to the side for the child to get to school. When they go to school, and I'm going to pick it back up, and I'm going to be working on it, without impacting the child's care all along the way. If the man is already doing all of that, you're not gonna have that situation you described. And I guess because of the kind of men. Well, no, because of the men I've dated. Because the kind of men I've dated, I'm not men
who are like that you're talking about. There are men where they're
then we would get caught up in
in the back of their mind.
They will change. They will show it right away. They'll hang in there saying that I'm going to support you at that point to string you along, because when time, let's be honest, when time is invested, it's difficult at some times to walk away.
Yes, it is.
You can't easily walk away when you've given someone all of your years, so to speak. You're not just going to walk away. You do have to, I agree, you have to work through it. But at the end of the day, if you don't come to a common ground and it's get to that point where you're going to despise that person for you're accomplishing your dreams, you need to be divorced.
Exactly.
But I just think you should be working on it along the way, so the person.
But that's not what you're saying. You should be, but that's not what your husband wants. That's not what your husband wants.
You don't have time to. But do you think that's the norm, or is that just kind of where the man says, "Okay, come on, follow my dream, be on my team"?
No, that's not the norm.
So I think we're spending so much time on something that we don't. It's not the norm.
So it's not necessary, but it does exist.
submission.
We said
The topic was submission.
We spent a whole lot of time.
But it was about submission.
On that.
You guys were talking about everything that's surrounded, but I was speaking of submission.
But I think
that's what my topic was, submission.
Right, absolutely. But I think submission, as Xavia put it so eloquently, and I totally agree, and I was thinking the exact same thing. I think we misunderstand the word, and we really need to understand and pray on that word and understand what God meant, you know, in that word. But we take our human self and then submit it into exactly. And when I'm hearing it's like, okay, submit means I just lay down like a jellyfish and you tell me what to do.
But to a man, submission means shut up.
Right.
And if that means, I know that's not what it means. But to some men, it means you don't get to speak your mind.
And if
he
feels that, you pack your stuff.
Of course.
I was gonna say that's not the man who's on the same page with you on submission.
You got a problem with life regardless.
Okay, submission can go on for hours. So let's move on to the next question.
So I'm gonna tell you my opinion and what I think you should do or shouldn't do. So.
Let everybody answer real quick. What do you think? I mean, it's hard, I guess, for the married brothers right now to say when you first meet them, it's different.
I mean, our answers, we still, that's another thing. Just because a brother gets married doesn't mean he's not a man anymore.
No, I ain't taking it away from him.
And it doesn't mean that, you know, he's still the same guy he was when he was single. He's in a covenant commitment, but still his mindset, his thoughts are still the same.
Still the same.
So when I meet, man, you'll see. when you meet a woman, of course, that really depends on how that woman presents herself. Now,
wow, that's a big question. I'm speechless.
I know.
Thing.
Well, you know what? I do. When I look at him, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna knock her boots from here to Apple.
All right, wait, man.
Foxy, I see you.
This girl, Miss Fox, thinks she gonna eat our loaded yam, the whole thing, but that ain't going on. Jimmy Jam gonna smash it.
With my guest, Xavia Fox from Xavia Fox Talks.
And you can tell everybody what you want to be called by.
Xavia Fox here, still on the red carpet, represents
X. X is good.